All right, you're the first one on. That was quick. Tell him what he's won, folks, or what she's won, one of the two. All right, I'm just kidding. You didn't actually win anything. But good evening. We got a big interview this evening, guys. It's going to be freaking exciting. Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah. All right, I hope so. Tell me, Casey, good evening. Let me know that you can hear me okay, please. I've got the mic hooked up and wanted to roll more Bitcoin. Good evening. Hey guys, just so you know, I am Alex and everybody else. I am like 20 minutes early. Wendy's not jumping on for about 20 minutes. So cool. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. But I just wanted to let you guys know that you are early. If you were jumping immediately on for Wendy, you are a little bit early. No, I always get the chat. I always get the chat jumping a little bit. It takes the little guys like myself a little longer to get a bunch of people in here. And I can't have her be getting on when I've got like 7 people in here. We got to get it like fired up. We got to get up to like 40, 50, 60 people in here. So at any event, it's going to be a fun interview, guys. I got some good questions for her. And hopefully you guys are excited about it. I think it's going to be good stuff. A quick comment on how option max pain could impact BTC. You know what? I only actually know right now the max pain point for Ethereum, the Ethereum options expiry, and that's the only one I know right now, which is 2100. So I don't know in regards to Bitcoin, but the options expiries always impact the market. Period. The institutions are looking to push these prices as far or as close to the number that has them paying out the least as possible. I mean, it's just like if you were running a business, if you can make as much profit and lose as little money as possible, that's exactly what they're trying to do. So, all right, Mike, how'd you like the one with Crypto Weatherman? Was it good? If BTC is about 40K, then the goal is to push it up, and so I mean ultimately that is what it is. Hold on a second. All right, so at any event, sorry guys. All right, I was just checking some stuff up. So ultimately, it definitely could affect and always does affect the price. And so it could push the price of Bitcoin up. The reality is, though, it's not it's not like anything that's like set in stone where it's like it's gonna happen. With Ethereum, we were getting close enough to the prices where it was like, you know what, it makes sense for it to go there. Bitcoin jumping up to 40K for an options expiry, man, that would be impressive from where we're at right now. I mean, that would be a 14% jump if my math is correct, which it usually is. 14.5%. Mike, I really appreciate it. Hey, one of the things, what's up, Crypto Addict? One of the things that a lot of people have told me was that I need to get a beard sponsorship. Like, you're not the first person to say that, guys. As I get more and more people following me, maybe somebody will reach out. Maybe somebody will reach out. It'll be dope. I will definitely take that as a compliment for sure. For sure. Begin Crypto. Hey, I meant to reach out to you, and I did not get to do it. So I have you written down. Shoot me a private message, Begin Crypto, would you please? And just because I go through my messages every day, I wanted to chat with you a little further. So just shoot me a message, would you? Yeah, Crypto Addicts, I love the ETH on sale too, for sure. I freaking chipped my tooth, one of my back teeth, and it's like as I'm talking, like my tongue hits it, and it is freaking hurting, and it is driving me nuts. So if you guys see me, I feel like it's making my mouth like kind of dry. And, I feel like I'm talking funny, but at any event. You know what? I do not know whether we are expecting a dip or a steady climb. I wish I knew that. I personally think that 28K might have been the final shakeout. But again, there's no telling. The market has not been. All right, listen, guys. A lot of times, the the market has a decided what it's doing is just evident, right? And this is uncharted territory right now. We've got so much bullish activity going on, yet the price has been suppressed like to a large degree. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And so, because of that, people are just unsure. And that's why I got out of almost all my alt positions, took profits on them, and am sitting still right now, just kind of waiting for a good confirmation. And yes, I really do think ETH will hit 10K. I really do. Now, that's assuming that the bull run, oops, sorry. That's considering or taking into account the fact that I think the bull run is going to begin again. So, yeah. Yep, yeah. Heck yeah. What's up, Ken? How you doing, man? You said you're jazzed about the interview. Yeah, I love Wendy too. She's great. Hey, Ken, I was talking to your boy. What is his first name? Hold on a second. His first name is Connor. I was talking to Connor late last night. I think you might talk to him some. I don't know. I didn't bring your name up, but for some reason, I feel like you do talk to him, or you at least know who he is. He was a Marine, just like me, and I'm definitely going to get him on and at least do a live stream with him. He seems like a really good dude. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you do talk to him. I kind of thought you did. I felt like I maybe saw you guys on a video or something to that effect. I wasn't really positive though, but yeah, he seems super cool, super laid back, and he's a Marine, so I'm all about it. I am all about it. So yeah, guys, I also am jazzed, if you will, about this interview for sure. Oh, he lives near you. Okay, cool. You said any good news on penny stocks? You might need to put a little at Trade Invest Simplify and then ask that question. I'm not into the penny stocks. I've got some REITs, real estate investment trusts, that I've got some money into right now that I think are heavily undervalued, but that's about it there. I don't mess around with the penny stocks. Yeah, so Pablo is somebody that I would love to interview, and I'm trying to get him on for an interview. I actually did a video trying to mess with him a little bit, troll him a little bit to get him on here. Apparently, Crypto Weatherman had sent him a text message asking him to get a hold of me, and he was supposed to, but I have not heard back yet. So, man, I wish I had like a piece of gum. I don't think I have any gum sitting around here. I want to just stick it to that tooth. This tooth is driving me nuts. Oh, Crypto Psych. I talked to Kylie yesterday. When I talk to her, that one won't be as much of like an interview as it will be her and I just getting together and kicking it. I have been waiting. She just passed 1,000. So I was super excited about that. We're going to talk about Airbnb. Kylie and I are. So I think, listen, we have committed to do it before the end of this weekend. So yeah, you guys like my shirt too? Heck yeah. Guys, I got new gear coming in. I got somebody working on a logo that I think you guys will I think it's sweet. I really think it's sweet. And it is, I will just say that it totally has it has incorporated what you guys always comment on when it comes to me. So yeah, and this is how I feel, guys. Huddle gang. What's like the sign we could do for like huddle gang? Like what does that look like? Let me see here. So it could be like all right, guys. Yeah, I'm just not the don't have any good don't have any good way to stack huddle gang. So all right. All right. Any DDP wrestling fans in the house? I'm with it. I'm with it. Ken, you must have really been serious about wanting to do that. That's wild. I think you're the only person that's ever told me like that was a serious aspiration of theirs. I've heard people say like, "Oh, I wanna be a wrestler or whatever," but not actually like go forward and like try to do it. Good for you, man. DDP's diamond. Oh, I think his is. Oh, you know what? That's a good one. It literally could be. You know what I mean? It could be like this because diamond hands. So that's the Huddle Gang. So Huddle Gang. Dino Crypto, I just need to go to the freaking dentist, but it just happened. So yeah, and I don't have any gum in the house, so it's really irritating me. But hey, but yeah. So guys, if you see me do this is diamond hands. This is not Illuminati. This is not any crazy, any other craziness. This is Huddle Gang. Huddle Gang. Maybe I'll do that when I get off. When I get off the live streams every night and tell you guys I love you. Maybe I'll be like, I love you, Huddle Gang. You know what I mean? Huddle Gang for life. That's really funny. Yeah, I just did a fun video. You guys have to check it out. You know the guy that he's literally probably my favorite. You know the guy that like so they'll show like a really complicated video where like somebody does like the most complicated way you could ever like cut up a banana, and then they show the kid and he's like I don't even know if he's like in a classroom or where he's at, but he literally grabs it with his hand, he peels the banana, and then he goes like this. Oh, this dude is my favorite. He is absolutely my favorite. So I just did a video you guys will have to check out about the Huddle Gang. So I did not have the sign up yet though. So yeah, guys. If nobody's told you before today, I freaking love you, Huddle Gang. Yeah. That's dope. Ken, I'm gonna give you the credit for that because it was your idea, man. I mean, it's all you. We need to see we need to get that going like as a trend on our videos. Like, but I feel like maybe somebody would take it the wrong way and literally think that we have like a gang sign going on or something. Yeah. So at any man, guys, if you're not following, shoot me a follow. We're getting ready to do an interview with CryptoWendyO. TC Wing, aka Hey Nick, aka CRJ, Crypto Recovery Jesus. Hey, bro, I love it. I love it. We've already talked about that. That's literally my page. That's my channel. Crypto Recovery and Jesus. That's it. I love it. Mr. 50 Cow. Hey. Craig Cantrell, what's up? How is everybody? I'm amped. I am pumped up for this interview. I really like Wendy. Like I'm it's really funny because I am not I am never. So I've got a cousin who's I'm not going to name drop on, but that's, famous in his time and like everybody knows him around here and around a lot of places or whatever. And I just don't care. Like it just doesn't, I'm just not that guy. But I'm going to kind of fanboy on Wendy. I freaking like Wendy. I like her a lot. It's like, hey babes. Did I do a good job with that? Hey babes. I like her. Kind of like my thing is, crypto fam, and then I love you guys. Hers is the hey babe. So yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Andy, exploring blockchain in his house. Andy, I don't think you were here, or at least it looks like maybe you just jumped on. Check it out. You need to be a part of this, Andy. Check it out. Here it is, right here. So you see the hodl, right? So hodl gang, diamond hands. See it? Diamond hands. That's the hodl gang sign. Diamond hands. What represent? Yeah. So we're gonna start doing that. We're gonna start doing that. I think you need to jump on the train. I'm gonna start doing it. Like we need to. Maybe we could get like a video going between all of the creators. We should get a video. The one that does like the chain, like the one after the other, after the other, after the other, and we could all throw up our huddle gang. Woo woo. That's the Wall Street Bets huddle sign. What? No. No, I've never seen a. Sorry, I'm messing with my beard here. Trying not to let the mic get like rubbed on by my beard, Guys, I got some great stuff to ask Wendy. I'm super excited to hear what she has to say. It's great, and I want to know if she's going to be a part of the HODL gang. You know what I mean? Luke Cave, my man, what's up? What's up, T Money? How is everybody? Listen, guys, hoorah, rah. When we first got into the Marine Corps, it was hoorah. It was everything like, sir, sergeant. Like, you didn't say sergeant, you said sergeant. Like everything in the Marine Corps, if you guys didn't know this, which most of you probably don't, is a shortened version of what you're actually saying. Like, you will never hear a Marine saying, yes, sergeant, unless it's a boot, which is somebody right out of boot camp. Yes, sergeant. No. Yes, sergeant. Yes, sergeant. And then hoorah turns into rah. I don't know. Anyway, Semper Fi, Semper Fi. Luke Cave, you were watching me when we had 6 views. Oh, yeah, you were one of the OGs, weren't you? You were one of the OGs. Man, it's happened in like not even a month. If you look back, my first video, that was like when I started doing like crypto, like when I actually like said, hey, I'm gonna do this. I think it was 3.5 weeks ago. So yeah. Anyway, how is everybody? Hello from Florida. Hello from Ohio. Yep. Columbus, Ohio, guys. Here we are. Meg, my Canadian friend. I've got a lot of Canadian friends. I guess I can't call you that, Bob. I will tell you, I knew immediately you weren't about to troll me on that video, Meg. If you didn't understand that video, I was actually going to unfriend you. So I just want you to know that. If you actually didn't understand the video, I was going to unfriend you immediately. So I just made the assumption that you did understand it. I just made the assumption that you do understand it. All right. Looks like Wendy's about to be coming in. Looks like she's about to be coming in. YouTube Live. Yeah, you know what? I haven't even looked into YouTube Live. Is that you guys like YouTube Live? So, guys, when she gets on here, just to let you know, we'll do some questions at the end. I think she might only have an hour, but we will see. And then after I'm done, you guys can ask some questions. I'll leave some questions at the end for you guys. So yeah, just figured I would let you excuse me, let you guys ask a few questions. So yeah. The one, the only, CryptoWendyO. Woo! How you doing?
Hey, did I do it correctly?
What?
Did I join the live stream correctly?
Are you serious? You don't live at all?
I don't on TikTok because I live on YouTube twice a week, so I don't really live on TikTok.
Oh, I did not know that. You know what? The weird thing was, I thought about that today. I was like, I see Mac and Cheesy, and I see Blockchain Boy, and I see all these people on live, and I'm like, I don't see Wendy on live. So you just that's just not something that you normally do. Well, good. I'm glad I can bring you into the fold.
Thanks. You know, the thing is I have a set schedule because I have a 4-year-old daughter, and I do not want her on camera. I don't want her coming in. I don't want her interrupting. And I just don't, it's because I don't want her on camera. Like I can't show you right now, but she'll literally, like when I'm live streaming or filming, she'll put little like kitchen toys underneath the door, which is absolutely adorable. But I just don't want her, I don't want her on camera. So I try to minimize that.
I actually just had my first baby, and she's so little that I don't mind, but I totally understand what you're saying. I also don't have, a large following at this point, and I could see just people being kind of just questionable. I could see that for sure. Yeah. So hey, I want to tell you something before we get started. So when I first started this TikTok thing, like not even a month ago, you literally like propelled me off the front, whether you realize it or not. And I know that maybe wasn't like what you were, but you were like, hey, go follow this guy, and I'm laying in bed with my wife, and I had literally just joked with her, and I was like, listen, we're going to need to put campaign funds together because I'm going to be running for president soon now that I'm on TikTok. And I was literally laying in bed, and it was like, new follower, new follower, new follower, new follower. And I'm like, what in the world? And then Blockchain Boy starts following me, and I messaged him, and I was like, how did you end up following me? And he said, I quote, I am but a simple man. Wendy says to follow, so I follow.
No, and I appreciate it. My whole goal is to get people excited about crypto, to get people inspired to either create content or to go ahead and figure out whatever it is you're good at and apply those to crypto or blockchain and do well. And to everybody that's in the chat right now, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. And thank you for all the congrats on all the crazy stuff that's been happening. But that's like my whole goal, is because where I come from, I didn't come from a tech background. I didn't come from like a STEM background. I didn't think I was ever smart enough because my mom kind of had her hands full with 3 girls. My mom was a legit single mom because my dad had passed away. So I didn't think that I was ever smart enough or good enough, but I didn't realize till I became an adult and I was mature that I am good enough and I am smart enough. And it's not about where you came from. It's about what you put into it. Like you can learn anything you want in this world. Like it doesn't matter. You just have to put the effort in and you have to try it. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy to do that. Sometimes you're going to get a lot of slack. You're going to feel like bad about yourself and you're going to let your insecurities get the best of you. But at the end of the day, it's not about that. It's about you. It's about bettering yourself and bettering your family. Do not let other people come in and be like, you're stupid, you're this, you're that, because that's not the case. It doesn't matter. Just focus on you and focus on what the goal is, and everything else is going to fall into place.
That's super good advice. That I actually have noticed, like, there's a lot of people that like are freaking fantastic, and the crypto community on here is fantastic. But at the same time, there's also just a lot of unnecessary like hate that gets tossed around, and I'm like, what is the point here? Why?
I have to interrupt you because TikTok is so much better than crypto Twitter. I'm on crypto Twitter. That's really where I started. And the toxicity there is absolutely disgusting. Like they are so disgusting there. The stuff that they say is just really bad. You basically you might as well just join 4chan. It's terrible. Like I literally logged on to Twitter while I was at dinner, and a friend of mine started trashing me about the Washington Post article for doing sponsored content. And I went back and I looked at the DMs with him. He came to one of my events. He apologized to trashing me prior to that. And he also did some non-disclosed sponsored content because all my content is disclosed. And he's out here trashing me again. And I'm just thinking, like, you met me, you came to my face, you came to an event I hosted, you apologized to me for being mean, and then you're going to come trash me again just to kind of be cool. It's like, really? Like crypto TikTok, I get like there is a little bit of salt, and that's just because price is going down, and there's a lot of people that are not responsible, and they're not taking responsibility for their actions, and that is okay. I get it because it's money. When money is involved, it is a problem. But at the end of the day, too, you guys, crypto is a free market. And if you go back and you read Satoshi's white paper and you read and you can actually understand the ethos of Bitcoin, the ethos of cryptocurrency, it is a free market. You either want government intervention or you don't want government intervention.
Right.
You can't have it both. If you cannot take responsibility for your actions, you're not going to do well. Part of being a good trader, part of being a good investor is taking responsibility for your actions. I have lost so much money in crypto from not taking profit, for aping into stuff and not being rational, that it's impacted my portfolio. But at the same time, I'm not going to cry about it on the internet and be like, oh my God, I lost money, and blame somebody else. I'm going to blame myself. It's 100% on me. There was a token I forgot to swap. And in the bull market about a month or two ago, it was worth, I had put in like $1,000, and it skyrocketed up to $500,000. And because I did not swap that token, the team would not swap it for me during the specified period, and I was out basically $500,000. I could have gone on a rant, I could have cried, I could have been upset, but at the end of the day, that was on me. I took responsibility for my actions. So that, I'm not like trying to flex on anybody, I'm just saying that's what it is. And to everybody in the chat that is giving positive feedback, I appreciate you guys, and I rock with you guys. Like, I rock with you guys. And then one of the reasons why I do what I do is because of people that just want to kind of hang out and to grow with me. And I rock with you guys.
That's what's up. Yeah, I was super excited about getting to know you a little bit. So let's dive into it here. So I want to know, and this is kind of an abstract question, okay? It's a hard question to answer, but who is Wendy?
So Wendy is not my real name.
Okay.
Wendy is not my real name, and the reason why I do not use my real name is when I first got into crypto, a very good family friend of mine was like, do not use your real name because they do not like women in the space. They're going to troll you. They're going to harass you. They're going to stalk you. So I took on a persona, which was kind of normal to me because I lived in Hollywood. I used to date musicians. I used to party pretty hard.
Yeah.
And we never used to use our real names. We would use different names. And so I took on a persona like the name Wendy, because WendyO, after Plasmatics, WendyO, because she was a complete, total, amazing woman. Wendy, no. Oh, and you guys, if you troll me in the chat, I will block you. I have no patience for whatever. It deters me from my goals, my aspirations, and my dreams. But so I took on this other persona because I have to keep myself safe as a woman. I am a survivor personally. And I do have a 4-year-old daughter, and I do not want to. Oh my God, the Crystal Lee says we were probably at the same parties. We could have been. I used to hang out back in my day. But basically, who I am. And if you guys don't know this, I worked in infectious disease, HIV/AIDS for about 7 years before I worked in crypto. And I come from a very broken household. My mom was a legitimate single mom. My dad passed away when I was about 11 years old, and he was my best friend. And I was always kind of a little bit awkward. I used to get made fun of in school for my dad passing away, for being poor, all of those things. And it was a lot of trauma, a lot of pain for me. And then of course I kind of spiraled out of control as a young teenager, as a young adult, all of those things, because I was just kind of grieving and I was in pain. I was like, how can there be a God? How can there be like peace and harmony, but my life is in complete and utter total chaos? So I come from a very, very broken past, a lot of trauma. And it took me a really long time to kind of own who I was and to own the past trauma. And the reason why I say trauma a lot is because I don't really feel comfortable talking about some of the other things that happened to me. But anyways, I'm just an average poor girl that grew up, that found an interest in crypto. It kind of resonated with me. This is about both you guys. And if you're not interested in learning about me or learning about cryptocurrency or anything like that, then you probably should leave the chat. But this is going to be a pretty raw stream. So if you're not interested in learning about who I am, then you can probably go. So
take a step right. No, I feel you. I think it's interesting. I like hearing about like who the creators are. because I very openly share, and this is just for me, I don't think everybody would openly share this, but I very openly share that I'm in recovery. And, you know, I have just an awful past with drugs and alcohol. And I stepped out of that. And part of me stepping out of that has come into this, just what I feel like I can be: a great husband, a great father, a great, you know, brother to my sisters, like my whole family. And so I want to encourage other people that they can do it as well. So it encourages me to hear you say that not that you've been through some stuff, because that probably sounds bad, but I'm just saying,
I have been through some stuff though. I am literally from the streets. I have been through some stuff. I don't really feel comfortable talking about exactly some of the things that I went through, but I can relate to you what you're talking about. What you're talking about, some of these things, because I can 100% relate to that. And I keep some things private just because of some of the harassment that I do receive on the internet. But if you guys are watching this and you're not, so a lot of people aren't addicts, and a lot of people don't understand how deep that gets. And a lot of my clients, when I was working in HIV/AIDS, a lot of them were addicts, and a lot of their issues stemmed from alcoholism and from drug use. And part of my job was to make sure that they took their medication, that they were seeing their doctor, that they were doing what they needed to do to be healthy. And even though we might not have agreed on the same things, I needed to figure out a way to kind of relate to them. And a lot of people don't understand that alcoholism and drug addiction is in fact a disease, and it's not something easy to deal with for the families. It's not something easy to deal with a person that is addicted, and the person that's addicted, that's the last thing they want to do is let down their families or let down the people that they love. But it's an uncontrollable urge, and it's essentially like an allergy. Like, you can't control that you're born and you're allergic to grass, or that you're allergic to bee stings, or different things like that. Yeah. And so I think that and part of what I do is I try to bring awareness to different things like that, to different aspects of that, and to kind of to let other people know that just because somebody has a past, and just because they had a hard life, or they were an addict, or there was different things that was going on with them, that it's not necessarily a bad thing. People can change, and they can do better. So shout out to you, shout out to your wife, shout out to your family.
Thank you.
For just, you know, for you turning your life around. I think it's amazing. And the people, can I cuss on this?
I mean, go for it. Go say which one was that.
The people that I fuck with the most are from the streets, and they have passed. And the reason why, it's not an addiction necessarily. Addiction is a choice, but it's not at the same time, because a lot of times you can't control yourself due to other mental issues. And unless you're an actual addict, it's a lot harder to understand. So people in the chat that may not necessarily understand what I'm mentioning, be compassionate, show compassionate, show love, show kindness. Unless you get to know somebody, unless you get to talk to them and hear their story, you're not going to understand. And that's okay if you don't understand today. You can work towards understanding. And that's a big problem that we have in America, is we do not acknowledge addiction as a mental disorder, which it 100% is a mental disorder. And the best way that we can deal with that is we can be there to support our family members, to support our loved ones, to support our friends that is having a bit of a problem. And of course you have to set boundaries, but at the same time, try to relate with them, try to understand. And you might not be able to understand, but at the same time, don't just write them off because they have these issues. That's all.
When, you know, and I'll just touch on this briefly, but when I started using drugs, it wasn't like this grand scheme to screw my whole life up and to go down this just awful path, right? Not at all. It was just that my body reacted differently than other people did. Like, I had friends that did the same drugs as I did, and they didn't, you know, take it to the extreme or whatever. And they actually say, the doctors say that if I laid down and did a brain scan versus someone else that's not an addict, right, and they fired off pictures of certain things in front of me, they could look at our brain scans and tell who's the addict and who's not, which tells me there is a fundamental, you know, difference there. There's a scientific, actual something that's going on there. So, no, I really appreciate that you that you've got strong feelings about that. That's sweet. Like, I love it.
Yeah, I mean,
so let me ask you, with your you know, just some of the things that you've been through, has is faith any part of, you had mentioned like, how could there be a God, this, that, or the other thing, is faith any part of your story? Do you have any specific things that you really feel one way or the other?
So I have a very tumultuous relationship with God, just because I lost my dad at such a young age. I was very awkward in school. I was very different than other kids, and I might cry on the stream, you guys. And I'm not a big crier, but I might cry on the stream. So I've
cried on the live stream, just so you know.
So I didn't understand. I didn't understand why my dad had to go. I didn't understand why he had to go, because he was my best friend. I would literally call him. I remember being in like 4th or 5th grade, and I would call him like every day when I would get home from school. Like, he was my best friend. I didn't have any other friends because a lot of the kids didn't really understand me. So it was very hard for me to really kind of forgive and to understand his death wasn't about me. I didn't have anything to do with it, but it was more just about the walk that I had to walk. So when I got older, I understood that it wasn't about me, and I didn't necessarily put my faith in God, but I put my faith in myself, and I put faith into the universe, and that things were going to end up working out, but it was about me. And there's a famous saying that I love to reference, and it's really kind of nerdy because I think it's a Kenny Loggins song from Footloose, and that was a movie that my dad always would put on for me and my sisters. But God helps the man who helps himself. And when you're thinking about, if you want God to help you, you have to help yourself. It doesn't matter what religion that people are like crying in the chat. This is making me cry too. But
I've cried on a live stream before, actually talking about some of this same stuff. So let it out.
Honestly, but you guys can believe whatever religion works for you, whatever belief works for you, just as long as you have good intentions. God will help you if you help yourself. And just as long as you are confident in what you're doing, you're giving back to others, you're showing gratitude, you're being grateful, I think that everything is going to be okay. But it's not about religion, because there's the whole religion thing really kind of separates people, and I don't want to separate everybody.
Yeah.
And I just think that if you're willing to help yourself, and you're willing to change and willing to become a better person, you will become a better person.
I love that. So how does one get into, like, what was your like entry into this social media world that we live in today? How did it happen? How did it blow up? Like, what does that look like?
So I got into crypto end of 2017. And when I got into crypto end of 2017, there was like 2 girls. There was maybe 5 girls. There was a girl named Barbie, which she's dope. She's absolutely dope. There was Miss Natoshi, and that was like pretty much it. There wasn't a lot of female influencers. And I didn't want to become them. I just wanted to post. And I just wanted to post my opinions and my thoughts.
At this point, what were you on? Like, what platforms are you talking about? 2017.
So I started Twitter. 100%, and because I had a family friend of mine that was like, Wendy, you need to get on Twitter. You need to get on Twitter. You need to post. You need to understand what's going on. You're going to learn a lot here. You're going to see a lot of things. So I was like, okay, this is dope. So I started posting on Twitter, and I got into crypto at the end of 2017, and I got super wrecked because I didn't know what I was doing. And I was like, yeah,
because you bought in at the top, just like I did.
I bought it from 7,000 to 17,000. And I didn't know what I was doing. And I was like, I saw all these cartoon characters on crypto Twitter, like making money. I was like, F these guys. If these guys can make money, I can make money. So then I taught myself how to trade, and then I started posting content, and some people noticed like, oh my God, she can actually trade. She knows what she's doing. And then I started to gain a following that way. And then I started a YouTube channel. Because I noticed that there was a lack of meetups. There was a lack of free events. And I was all about networking, hosting events, bringing people together to learn and to grow together. So I started live streaming those on YouTube, and then crypto companies came to me. They're like, hey, Wendy, we'll pay you money to do an interview. And I was like, what? I can spend 30 minutes and get paid like a bunch of money to do an interview? This is great. So then I started doing like the disclosed paid interviews, stuff like that. And
guys, I'm not paying her, just so you know.
Yeah, he's not paying me. I do when I work with any other content creators, I am providing background music. But when I do any of these things, none of these are sponsored like that. My partner is Blockfolio, and it's mainly for my YouTube channel, just for full disclosure. But I started live streaming the crypto meetups, and then those started picking up, and then people are like, "Oh my God, there's a woman in the space. This is dope." So that's how my following kind of got big, because I was really the only woman that was out there doing interviews, doing project reviews, having a YouTube channel, doing live streams, doing like pretty much a lot of stuff. And then I started going to conferences, I started doing live media, and it just kind of blew up. And I didn't like plan to become an influencer. It's just kind of happened, and it was really cool.
So you dove in, right? But I guess my question then off of that becomes, one of the things that I love about you, I love your TA. I really think you do like a really nice job with TA. And so my question becomes, where'd you learn TA? You know, I know enough to be dangerous, but you know the charts. Like, where did that come from?
I wanted to learn to trade. I initially was like, because I worked at the same company for 10 years. I quit my job at the same company for 10 years. I was in the retail section for 3 years. I was in the healthcare sector with HIV, AIDS, infectious disease for 7 years. And I quit my job to finish school because I was in community college and I wanted to get my degree. Just because I figured, I was like, oh my God, I have to get my business degree because that's what everybody's doing. I was initially a pharmacy major, and I was like, I'm not doing this. That's a whole nother story. But I was like, okay, well, I can be a trader and make money. So I trade on the side, I invest on the side, I have a consultancy on the side. Like, I do a lot of different things in the space. So I just kind of taught myself technical analysis. And one of the things that really pushed me was because I was doing a lot of these videos and doing these live streams. I was like, I need to know my stuff. I need to know my stuff. If I'm going to be having these meetups, if I'm going to be making content, like, my approach is a little bit different. I'm a little bit more lax. I don't really focus on like the heavy math aspects of technical analysis. It's more so of me. It's just me being like, hey, this is what this indicator does. This is what this line means. And this is what we do. Any book recommendations, you guys? The 2 books that I learned from, which I got made fun of all over crypto Twitter, and they still make fun of me now, is The Idiot's Guide to Candlesticks and The Dummy's Guide to Technical Analysis. I paid $20 for both of those books, and I learned how to trade. And it's the same information that you can get for free on Investopedia. So if you want to learn to trade, I always advocate for Investopedia on my socials because it's 100% free and you don't have to buy anything. But when we're talking about technical analysis, we're talking about investing, when we're talking about trading, it's about repetition. If you remember math class, if you remember calculus, if you remember doing, I don't have any crypto tattoos. If you remember doing anything in math or chemistry or science, it's repetitive. It's doing a derivative over and over and over again. And that's the same thing. And Baby Pips is 100% free too. It's about doing the same thing over and over again. If you can spot a pattern, if you can spot something like with Bollinger Bands or support and resistance or EMAs, you can be good at trading. And you use a trading journal and you just keep repeating that over and over again.
So what is would you consider yourself a mixture of long-term hodler, active trader, swing trader, day trader? Like, what would you consider your style?
So I'm a long-term investor in Bitcoin. I've got fat bags of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and of course my moon bags as well, you guys. I am not an Elliott wave person at all. So I am not the person to ask about Elliott waves. And the thing about me is, if somebody's like, hey, Wendy, what about this head and shoulders pattern? Or what about this cup and handle? I'm not really a big pattern trader. So if you ask me that, I'm a big, I don't know, because I don't know. And I'm here to be honest with you. But as far as my style goes, I change with the market. Like, when the market is bearish, I'm going to be utilizing leverage to trade, because I can.
So you do leverage trade. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be utilizing leverage to trade. But if we're in a bull market, I'm going to buy an alt that I like, and this thing is going to go. It's going to do what it is, and I'm going to be taking profits on the way up. So it really kind of depends what kind of market we're in. But right now, because of the market we're in, we're literally you're going to get if you can get a 3 to 30% gain in a day, take that trade. It's more of a short term stuff. So it really kind of depends, but I do investing, I do trading, sometimes I do scalping. I don't really talk about the scalping that I do because I do not have enough time to report to my audience, hey, this is what I'm doing. And I don't have any paid services right now. So I don't want to be like, I'm entering this is my exit, my take profit, because I might cut that shorter depending on the market.
Right. So, man, so you've got all sorts of stuff going on. The one thing that I haven't personally got into, and I've been in since 2017 as well, the one thing that I've never done is leverage trade, because I've done so well on my hobby.
Do it.
Yeah, and so I have considered it multiple times. And here's the thing. I'm in this for the long haul, right? I'm in this. My plan is to retire. I own my own business as well, but my plan is to be able to retire in 2030, and that's the game plan. I think it's way more than doable. I'm well on my way, and the reason that I haven't done it is because I've heard so many people say the exact thing that you just said. Listen, if you're doing well already, don't do it. Why would you tell a new person to not leverage trade? Because a lot of times on some of these channels, leverage trading gets tossed onto people's plate as if it's something that's like this great thing to do, which it can be. Why would you tell a beginner to be careful?
So this is the thing. I talk about leverage trading on my platforms because I'm actually doing it. I do not trade with big positions. I trade anywhere between $1,000 to $10,000 per leverage position. I don't always post all of them all the time because I don't have time. I'm a mom. I've got a business. I've got content. I've got a lot of stuff to do. You will see me occasionally post, but I'm not like 100. I'm not doing it all the time. So that's one thing. Number two, when I do leverage trade, I use 2 to 3 times leverage. I do not use most of that.
Okay.
And I always state, if I'm talking about a leverage trade, I tell people, if you are not an experienced trader, keep scrolling. This video is not for you. And the reason why is it's essentially like gambling. It's like gambling. It's easy to lose a lot of money. I do not think that leverage trading for probably 99% of retail investors is a good idea. Just because I do it and because it works for me doesn't mean that it is going to work for you. I do not tell people enter in this position 10 times leverage, whatever. I don't think that's a good thing. I always say, like, if I do decide to leverage trade, it's going to be 2 to 3 times leverage. And I'm not advocating for people to do that. That's just something that I do, but I'm not going to lie and say I'm not using leverage when I actually am. I literally talk about what it is that I am doing. I'm not out here telling any of you to leverage it. If you want to learn to leverage trade, BitMEX, Bybit, Femex, they've got the test nets where you can practice it for free. And unless you have a decent strike rate, leverage trading is not for you. It is none of your business. It is extremely dangerous. You can get liquidated. You can lose all of your money. Just because you see some dumb F on crypto Twitter and any other website, or even myself, if you see me making gains, don't just blindly leverage trade because you're going to get wrecked. Do what works for you. Do what works for your family. If you like, and shout out to Drazis. Shout out to Drazis Christ. We love Drazis. Drazis is the founder of Scam. We support him. We love him. The man is an absolute legend. He always says what's on his mind, and I've got nothing but love and mad respect for that man. That is all that I will say.
So, what's your overall? So you built this platform, right? You've got YouTube, you've got Twitter, you've got obviously TikTok. Do you have like an end game or a goal where you're like, hey, this is what I want out of all of this?
Do you want to know about, okay, before I answer that, somebody said McAfee Verge. So Verge was actually my first like 100x or 10x. I forgot what it was. And it was because of McAfee's tweet of the day, rest in peace, John. And I made a lot of money on that. So shout out to John. But I don't have an end game. My end game is to, like, ultimately my goal would be to have a bar, like a dirty, dingy dive bar on the Central Coast. That would be my end game, where people can just come, they can hang out, they can like rock with me. We can have live bands there. We can eat like old, stingy, dirty nachos, like all of that type of stuff. Like, that's all that I want to do. Is I just want to have I just want to have like a place where people can come, they can feel safe and vibe, but I don't have like an end game. Like obviously I would love to make $65 million because that would be $1 million a year until I'm 100 years old and I would be, you know, pass away and I'd be able to take care of my family and whatnot. But realistically, I just want to enjoy a good quality of life and take care of my daughter and give her the best of everything in life.
That's awesome. I'm with you on that. I can't tell you how much my life changed 3 weeks ago. You know what I mean? Just instantly, just like that. Just things absolutely changed. So, all right, why crypto? Like, so why are you not in the stock market? Why crypto?
Because when I went into a TD Ameritrade, when I first quit my job, and I said, because I quit my job to go finish school full time, I went into, Elon just tweeted, I hope it was something bullish so we can pump our bags. But I went ahead and I went into a TD Ameritrade and I said, I have some money. Can I invest? And they're like, you need $25,000 to invest. And I just remember thinking to myself, $25,000. I have a little bit of money in the bank. I actually had $25,000 at the time because I was going to pay for college. But I was like, you need me to give you $25,000 to invest in stonks? Like, that is absolutely ridiculous. Like, it just didn't seem fair. It didn't seem right. Like, most people don't have $25,000 in the bank. I was lucky to have it because I was saving up for my job because I was planning on quitting my job to go to school full time. But I was like, how can somebody have $25,000 in the bank living in Southern California? Rent is minimum like $2,000 a month. So I was like, F this is a bunch of BS. And that's why I don't trade the stock market. I'm not interested in it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to be around it. I don't want to put money into an entity or into an organization or anything that these people, these fancy suit fucks can capitalize off my money. It's not for them.
So ultimately, is like, what's your favorite project in the crypto space? Just if you had one to grab and hold and that's it, or do whatever you want to do with it, what is it? My girlfriend's up here, Ethereum. This is my girlfriend up here. So
okay,
go ahead.
Okay. So if I was to have, Bitcoin is babe for me, and the reason why Bitcoin is babe is because it just embodies the ethos of what I believe in. But if I had to put my money into something, I like Solana a lot. I like Solana a lot, and I like DOT a lot. And I'm hoping that they do something like, I like Ethereum. I have a lot of Ethereum. Probably like 25% of my wealth is in Ethereum. But at the same time, Ethereum does have some issues developmentally. But I like Ethereum. I like DOT, and I also like Solana. I like anything that can directly compete with Ethereum. And this is the thing, and it's not a slam at Ethereum. I like competition. Without competition, you are not going to get mass adoption. You are not going to get scalability. And these projects that are able to directly compete with Ethereum and push Ethereum developers to do better, I'm 100% for it.
That's what's up. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions that, this has been great. I want to ask you a couple questions that are kind of off the wall. All right. So, well, not off the wall, but like, all right, you're a little girl. What did you want to be when you grew up?
When I was a little girl, I wanted to become either an archaeologist or a lawyer. And the reason why I wanted to become an archaeologist, I was very fascinated with, fascinated with ancient Egypt. I thought it was so amazing. I thought it was so outstanding. And then I wanted to become an attorney because attorneys to me were just like, they were like heroes. I felt like that they were I felt like that they were kind of like defending against the underdogs, protecting people, and they were just like very confident badasses. So that's what I wanted to be when I was like 5 or 6 years old or whatever it was. That's
great. Yeah, I don't even know what I wanted to be. I think I just always wanted to be an attorney because my dad's an attorney, and that was just like the thing that I wanted to do. But yeah, I don't know. After I own my own contracting company now, and after starting my own business, like, I will never, and there's nothing wrong with working for somebody else, but I'm just saying, I will never work for somebody else again. It gives me the freedom and the ability to make decisions that I otherwise couldn't make if I was tied to, someone else's hours or whatnot, and it's great. So tell me what I've heard. I think I might even know the answer to this one, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Tell me what makes you the most angry.
The thing that makes me the most angry is probably I'm seeing somebody get bullied, because I was heavily bullied when I was younger. I still get bullied online by a bunch of people that are
haters.
It's not even about haters. It's literally people that are mad, and they're mad that I've done well for myself, and they will do like shady ass shit in the background, but won't own it, but then will come attack me because I'm a woman. So it's literally the thing that bothers me the most is bullies. I can't stand bullies. I've got an issue with bullies, like a massive issue with bullies. Like if I see somebody bullying somebody else in person, I might like pop off the side of my neck. Like I can't deal with it. Like I remember the old neighborhood I lived in was a really rough neighborhood. And I went outside because I was boxing, because I am a boxer. So I went outside to
That's literally what I was about to ask you about, the boxing.
Yeah, I went outside to go train, and I heard a kid across the street screaming, and I'm like, what the hell? So I told my daughter, I was like, stay in the house. And she was like 3 at the time. I was like, stay in the house. I went across the street to hear what was going on with the little kid. And he was like, oh, it's my cousins are picking on me. So I went to his cousins, and this was not really a smart idea considering the neighborhood I was living in. I was like, do not bully your cousin anymore. I was like, where's your parents? They're like, oh, my parents in the house. I said, that's fine. Don't bully your cousin anymore. And the kids went and ran off. So if I see bullying of any kind, I generally will step in, and I've stepped in between men and women, men bullying women and different things like that. I cannot deal with bullies. It's something that bothers me. I just can't do it.
So are you still actively training? Are you actually fighting, or doing it for just the workout, stress relief, the combination?
So the place that I box at, it's actually a mental health facility as well. The woman that owns it, which I'm going to be helping her raise funds very, very soon. So I'll let y'all know if you guys are interested in supporting. But it's a facility that's in the inner city on the south side. And she not only teaches kids how to box, but she also teaches them to focus on being healthy mentally. She's a licensed family, a licensed family therapist. So she does a lot of good work there, and I just really resonated with this lady. But I go there to box. I actually started boxing at 16. A friend of mine, well, wasn't a friend of mine, it was someone that was not very nice to me. He taught me how to box, and I'm glad he taught me how to box, because he was also very abusive towards me. And I also needed to learn how to box later on, because I had to defend myself and defend other people in the past. But I don't box to put hands on anybody. I don't ever want to put hands on anybody. I box for my mental health. I box for confidence, and I box so that I know if something does happen to me, if somebody comes to me, if they harass me, because I have been harassed, I have been threatened online, that I can handle my business, because I've taken down dudes before.
I love it. I love it. You said I've taken down dudes before. That's what it is.
I hate to say that, but at the end of the day, the thing is, if you come and you put your hands on me and you touch me, and you try to touch my daughter, I'm not going to stand for it. It's not going to happen. Like I'm not going to, if you put your hands on me, it's either between me or you. I'm not going down, and I will protect myself, because I am a mother, and I will protect my daughter at all costs.
I'm with you. Have you done anything other than boxing? Have you done any grappling, any other stuff? Just standing up? What's going on there?
So I learned I knew a tiny bit of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I know enough to take somebody down. Like if a dude comes up to me, I know enough to take them down. But the interesting thing is, my dad, he was actually a kung fu master, and the story about him is really cool. So he was picked on a lot. He was picked on a lot in school. So he grew up in Orange County after his parents came from New York they immigrated to New York. No, that's another story. But they were in New York. They came to California. My dad was picked on a lot because he was short. So my dad learned kung fu. He went to the studio. He became very close with the man who brought it over from the Buddhist temples from China. And my dad ended up opening his own studio. It was really just to kind of teach people and whatnot. So I grew up in a kung fu studio, and of course, like the last thing my dad could have done to get another belt was to teach his children. But unfortunately, he got sick and he passed away. But I know a little bit of other things here and there.
That's awesome. Oh, so all right. So when I started following you, I was super interested in the fact you had mentioned a couple times that there was like nobody in the crypto space that was females. Do you have like something in particular that you feel like a woman? Now, again, guys, don't take this. I'm just just throwing this out there. Do you feel like there's something that women bring to the table that possibly you don't see from men, or vice versa, when it comes to actually trading?
Yeah, 100%. So I'm like, my personality, I'm very masculine, and just because that's how I've been able to kind of survive throughout all this time, was being very masculine and kind of masking my fear. But women in crypto are so, so important. And the reason why they're so important is women bring a very unique perspective, because we think differently. We have different types of feelings. We have different types of emotions. And I feel like women are just so needed in every field.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't really like to distinguish between gender, but one thing I will say is that just because you might be a different gender than somebody else, it doesn't matter. It really, really, really doesn't matter. Figure out what you're good at, hone those skills, and bring them into the space. Whatever it is, if you're good at marketing, if you're an attorney, if you're a CPA, if you're a trader, if you're in STEM, whatever it is, doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, come with decency and add value wherever it is. Probably the most important thing that I've heard was that I like to think is, how can I add value to this? When I have clients, how can I add value? So it really depends. Like, women are like, and I don't want to speak for all women, but if you're female and you're watching this and you're like, oh my God, I don't necessarily belong, what value can you add to the space? Because you're going to be able to add in value. Just figure out what it is that you're good at and bring that value.
So that kind of leads me into the next thing. How do I put this? Okay, what value do you feel like you particularly bring to the TikTok / Twitter sphere, if you will?
I am 100% unfiltered. I will call people out on their bullshit. I'm very honest, and I'm very real with who I am. One of the things that I like to focus on is I bring awareness to causes that people don't talk about a lot. I've been able to raise money for domestic violence charities on Twitter, on YouTube, and different things like that. And a lot of people don't talk about those topics because they're very, very taboo. And myself as a survivor, I think it's important that I do raise money, that I talk about the stuff, that I talk about mental health. So that's probably something that I can bring to the table, is like, I have past trauma, I have baggage, and I'm not this little rich girl that came from money, or this person that came from money that I'm like, oh my God, I actually came from a place that a lot of people may not necessarily be able to understand. And I just kind of bring honesty.
You know what? That's fantastic. I actually, since I started, one of the things that people always tell me that they like is that I just seem to be like an open book, and that I'm just myself. At first I didn't know whether I wanted to share. I've cried on a live stream, so like maybe a week ago or so, I just started talking about just some past experiences or whatever, and then the thought of my daughter came up, and it took us a while to get pregnant, and I felt like it was so raw. And at first, when I like got emotional on the live stream, I'm super just the guy that's like, hey, this is who I am. I don't care whether you think it's this, that, or the third. I was in the Marine Corps. Like, you just get what you get with me. But I got like
thank you for your service.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. And I got messages afterwards, because I told my wife, I was like, you're not going to believe what I did. And she literally said, she's like, what, did you cry on a live stream or something? Because she knows me, you know what I mean? So I got messages, and people were like, listen, Nick, that was just absolutely like so real. And that's what we love, just giving that real. And that's one of the things that I have seen with you. It doesn't look like it's an act. The only thing that's an act with you is your name, but I get it. I can roll with it. But no, I totally get that. I totally get that. So tell me, do you have pets?
Unfortunately, right now I do not have any pets. During the panorama, I lost my dog. That was I had her for how long? I had her for like 13 years. My baby, I lost her. She was a Shih Tzu Havanese, and it was a very terrible experience, a very graphic experience. And then shortly after that, probably about 6 months after, my pit bull that I had passed away because I think that she missed her sister. So both of my babies have passed away. I don't have pets right now. I don't have an intention of getting any pets, just because I'm still kind of grieving over that. And a absolutely terrible experience. But I will say that I have in the past volunteered at animal shelters. And I was the assistant groomer in an animal shelter in my last area that I lived in, and it was a beautiful experience. But I did have to stop volunteering because I got pregnant and I was too big to kind of carry the dogs and whatnot.
So what are your, I have 3 English Mastiffs, so I know all about having dogs, and I could absolutely, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to bring up something, you know.
No, that's okay.
That's super tough, losing a dog. So what do you, so crypto is what you do full time, right? Like this is, right? Okay. So what do you do like hobbies wise?
Hobbies wise, I will hang out with my daughter. We watch Cher. She's very into cowboys. She's very into
you watch
different things. My daughter is into she's into Gunsmoke, which is a really old show.
Oh, I thought that's what you were talking. I was like, what?
Yeah, she's into all that type of stuff. So we watch shows together. We do music together. I like to eat. I love to eat. I love to drink wine on occasion. Just different stuff like that. But that's pretty much what I do. I'm really a very lax person. I lived a very, very crazy, wild life when I was younger. And I'm glad to just kind of be vibe.
That's awesome. So what would you tell everybody that's in my chat that if they're, well, listen, everybody in my chat, I guarantee, is already following you. But if you guys aren't following Wendy, shoot her a follow. Obviously, guys, you know what to do. Push the little button, do your thing. But what would you tell all the people that are on here right now that maybe they make an assumption about you that just probably isn't true?
So there's a lot of misinformation being posted about me all over Twitter, all over a lot of social medias, and it's really because the people that are doing it, they don't like me because I am a woman in crypto, and I hate to say that. But before you judge somebody, make sure you actually do your due diligence and you make sure that it makes sense. I remember and people have been coming for me. These anonymous characters have been coming for me on the internet since 2018. I remember there was a Telegram group that was dedicated to calling me a scammer because I invest in altcoins. And they even went and I supported a charity organization that didn't pay me a dime, that was trying to raise money. And they went as far as to post a very derogatory article about me on National Women's Day. So before you make a judgment about me, please make sure that you get to know me before you make negative connotations. And also to any other person on the internet, make sure you get to know them before you listen to anybody else, because there's a lot of really, really nasty people out there. And what you're going to see a lot during this type of market, where we're technically in the short-term bear market, you're going to see a lot of smaller influencers that want to chase clout, and they're going to trash some of the larger people. And the reason why they want to do that is they want to build a following so that they can do undisclosed paid shills and do all kinds of really terrible things. I remind you of the Adams family. Thank you so much. It is the lighting. Sometimes it happens.
So let me ask you the question that everybody's dying to hear from you. And then, do you mind taking a few questions from the chat too?
Sure. Yeah. Let's do it.
Cool. So everyone wants to know what's going on with the market.
So as far as the market goes, we're literally in a consolidation range. I don't have my chart in front of me. We are in a consolidation range between about 37.5 to about 33.5. And again, guys, these are just estimations. I don't have the charts in front of me. But a lot of people are like, we're in a bear market, we're in a bull market. No, shut up. Pay attention to these ranges, pay attention to these levels, and base your trading off of this. One thing I will say now, this market is 100% completely different. You are able to get you're able to get a lot of decent altcoin gains, but it's going to be anywhere between 5 and 30%, which is 100% fine. But at the same time, too, you're not going to get these 100 times, 30 times gains, because it's just not the type of market we're in. And that's totally fine. So just please understand what type of market we're in. Right now, we're in a consolidation range, and that's okay. But don't expect that you're going to get 1,000 time gain or 100 time gains. Just me personally, I'm just playing it by range and day by day.
Okay. So I've been telling everyone that my personal opinion on the matter is, just for me, there's just too much going on. Bullish
Hold
in
on
the
one
background?
second. So hold on one second. So to Crypto Shock, does Wendy actually make any meaningful content? Just seems like she talks in circles. You can always go unsubscribe. It's absolutely ridiculous. And to make these types of really rude comments when people are out here being vulnerable, it's rude. And it's not even it's a display of yourself, the type of person that you are inside. I don't know if you need therapy. I don't even know if you need to get mental health help, but go do that. But to leave negative comments about somebody is absolutely ridiculous. If you were had a little bit more depth to yourself, you would be able to kind of understand what I'm saying. And if you were able to have a larger attention span, you would understand. Don't come for me on my stream. I don't appreciate it, and I will block you. I have no time for it. Go ahead, though. I'm sorry.
Get it, girl. Get it. No, I hate that stuff. That people come in and troll on try to troll on me too, and I just whatever. All right, so in any event, I've been telling I've got a lot of I think beginning investors that are on my page just because of some of the questions that I hear a lot, and I think there's a ton of them. And you know, I haven't been in this market for 8 years, but I've been in it for 4 years, and so I've seen the ups and the downs. And to me, that now there was some of this talk in 2017 too, but to me, it just feels like there is too much bullish action going on in the background for this for this bull run not to turn back around. I mean, overall, like, I just see too much good going on for us to go bearish. I mean, do you overall agree with that, or are you thinking, hey, we could just turn back around at any point? I just really think it's going to be at the drop of the hat. I feel like there's so much manipulation going on to scare people out. I was hoping that 28K was to shake out the last of the weak hands, and maybe we'll start climbing back up with a U-shaped recovery. But I don't know. I mean, I hear different things from different people all the time. I would love to believe that we're just headed slowly back up, but I remind people, the bear market is where you make your wealth. You know what I mean? That's where wealth comes from.
Okay, so first things first, I don't know how to add a mod on this on my stuff. I would love to add some of you guys as mods, because like it always just when there's like stupid people in the chat, I hate to use the word stupid, but realistically,
you can click, you can hold on their Wendy. You can hold on their name, like so. If you hold on their name, and then it'll well, hold on a second. So I just did it last night.
Okay, I don't know how to do it, but anyways,
I'm sorry, I just did it last night.
It's okay. So this is the thing. As far as the bear market or bull market goes, I'm not ready to call either market. I still do believe we are in a bull market until we actually completely break down and break. I want to say about $28,000 or $27,000. I don't have the chart in front of me.
Yeah.
But as far as bullish fundamentals for Bitcoin, there's so many bullish things happening. Like the whole El Salvador thing, I don't think people understand the magnitude of that. I don't think that they understand how revolutionary that is. You can come for the president of El Salvador. You can come for, you don't have to like him. I'm not saying that he's a good guy. All politicians are completely screwed up. But at the end of the day, what he is doing for Bitcoin is absolutely outstanding. He made Elon Musk look like a complete and utter moron in like 48 hours. And I absolutely loved it. It was amazing. But there's so many amazing bullish things happening for Bitcoin. And the reason why we're not seeing a lot of bullish things happen for Bitcoin in the United States is because the United States government is very, very scared of losing their control. And that's why we have not had a US digital dollar yet. And that's just my opinion. I think the outlook is very bullish for Bitcoin. And you guys also have to understand too, Bitcoin was created as a hedge against the US dollar. Bitcoin was created to give the power back to the people. You're talking about something that was created to give you freedom, to allow you to be self-sovereign from the United States government and other oppressive regimes. Why do you think that they're going to accept Bitcoin? Why do you think that they are going to co-sign it, that they're going to be excited about Bitcoin? If you look at the media, all that they say is negative things about Bitcoin. Why would that change?
I'm totally with you. There is I feel like when somebody fights something just like tooth and nail, and it's literally like they're an opponent to it, there's a reason for it, right? Because if it wasn't that big of a deal, right, the government would just say, fine. It doesn't really matter. I mean, you guys can use whatever you want to use. You can do whatever you want to do. The banking system is still going to reign supreme, but it's not. People are realizing that, hey, I've been loaning money to my bank. I've been loaning money to these crooks for a long freaking time. Now it's my turn. If I want to loan out my money, I can loan my money to CryptoWendyO, and I can do it instantly. I can make 8% on the money that I am loaning out via a smart contract. There's just so much freaking, like, when people are first getting in and it just seems like a whole, right? And with DeFi, I think for me, I'm the biggest bull on DeFi. I'm not a banks guy. And what I started to notice, and I had to convince my wife of this a little bit, was that, like, babe, okay, we've got X amount of dollars just sitting in these accounts, right? I have to have some for my business. Okay, fine. But these accounts are making what? I don't even know what banks do, 0.01%. Like, oh, freaking thank you, bank. You're making 6% on this investment. You're making 4% on this mortgage. You're making all of this money, and you're going to give me 0.01% for letting you hold my money and then reinvest it? Hell no. No. And I think that once people start to recognize some places that they can trust, once they recognize that smart contracts can actually, like, how they actually execute, and the fact that it's computer code, guys, right? It's not going to change. Whatever the smart contract says, that's what's going to happen. And I think once people start to realize that they can take back that power, and I think that, for me, is what's so scary to the banks. And the banks, who gets bailed out in 2008? The freaking banks, right? The banks, at the end of the day, do kind of run a big portion of this country. He who controls the money controls the power, right? And I'm so bullish on DeFi. So yeah, rant over. Sorry.
No, it's what you're saying is 100% true. And this is the thing, is that, like, DeFi and crypto, it's giving the power back to the people, and they don't want that. They don't want that. So that's why we're seeing this fight that's happening. And it's just like, I preach this a lot, and people will say, like, you don't know what you're talking about. Follow the money, follow what's happening, pay attention to what's happening. And if you can figure that out, like, sometimes I'll post cryptic videos and I don't give an explanation of why I'm posting. I'll just give the information. That's because I want you guys to critically think. I want you guys to understand, hey, this and this happened. What does it mean? And for you guys to figure out. If you cannot figure out this basic information, you're not going to make it. You're not. Yeah. And I hate to say it like that, but it is what it is.
No doubt. I'm not the tinfoil hat guy, but at the same time, I truly believe that if somebody wants to freaking just go absolute rounds with you about an issue, there's a reason for it. People that don't, like, if the government didn't really care, they would just, like, say, okay, well, here we go. Well, there's a freaking reason that they care. Hey, my chat wants to know if you're an Aquarius.
No, I'm a Leo.
Yeah, Leo. I don't even know what that even. That's not my thing. So
I'm fierce. No, but, like, another thing too is that DeFi is still, it's very shady right now, because of course there's a lot of anon people, there's a lot of crazy things. I've been rug pulled myself, but DeFi has the capabilities to really revolutionize the world. You can go to any DeFi project and get a loan. You cannot walk into your bank in the United States and take a loan out for a small business. They won't give it to you.
Yeah, no doubt. So speaking on that, how does the newcomer, how do they recognize? So I get questions all the time. Hey, what's this coin? What's that coin? What's this coin? Half the time they're crap coins. They literally just have no fundamentals, nothing behind them. How can somebody recognize whether there's a really good chance that they could possibly get rug pulled? How do people recognize their points of exposure?
This is the thing. It's hard for me because I'm a little bit of a gambler myself. Okay. I want people to be able to choose what they want to invest in. I don't want to be the person to be like, this is a scam, this is a scam, this is a scam, because that's what the SEC does. That's what the United States government does. That's what these other oppressive regimes are doing. They're telling people, don't do this, you can't do this. So I'm not here to tell you, you want to invest in something, go off, do you invest? But at the same time, there's risks associated. If you are not mature enough to know that you can lose your entire stack, that's on you, that's not on me. Just because I want to go ahead and invest in something and you lose your money because you couldn't figure out how to take profit on time, that's not on me, that's on you. So some of the things that I look for projects, I am really not investing in projects that have anonymous teams. I do not invest in charity tokens anymore just because it's a little bit weird, like kind of what's happening. I look for minting functions. I want to see if these projects have minting functions to where they're able to mint tokens later on in the future after liquidity is locked, because that's how some rug pulls happen. I want to see if liquidity is locked. So there's some things like that. And I also want to see what the use case is. Like, obviously, if it's a meme token, if it is a meme token, and if it was something like absolutely ridiculous, like sometimes I will toss a couple $100 in, and if it goes to zero, I don't care because I like meme tokens. But at the same time, I understand that it's a meme token. So I don't invest. Okay, so Bitcoin is the exception. The reason why Bitcoin is the exception is because Satoshi, it's been 10 years and Satoshi has a rug pulled. When I invest in tokens that are anonymous now, there's a pretty big chance that they are going to rug pull. And it is what it is. I don't mind. Like, me personally, it's not going to impact me because I'm literally investing a couple $100, but there's other people that are not going to understand like how to invest in these. So I'm not here to judge anyone. If you like coin ABCD 1 2 3, I support you, but if you cannot remove your profit on time, that's not on me, that's on you.
Yeah, you know what, one of the things that I preach is something that I hear you preach too. Take freaking profits, guys. And listen, I always say this: a smart person learns from their own mistakes, and a wise person learns from others' mistakes. And I try to tell my people that follow me, like, guys, I have done it. I have freaking ridden the wave back down to nothing. Don't freaking do it. It doesn't feel good. And it ultimately defeats the whole freaking purpose. And so I got a little bit of flack the other day when I consolidated my 23 assets down to 5, right? And here's the reality. I had been in long enough that all I was doing was taking profits. I wasn't sitting there like panic selling. I was taking profits, right? And I was consolidating, knowing the fact that, guess what? Everything's following Bitcoin at this point. Everything that will then follow Ethereum at that point. And I'm not going to dump my XRP because who knows what's happening with this lawsuit. So that leads me into the next question. Everybody always, the most polarizing freaking coin out there, the most polarizing project. We want to know, what do you think of XRP? Because I've got people hitting it up in the chat.
So I stopped talking about XRP because the community did not like my opinion, and I spoke about it today on another podcast. I forgot who it was with because I do so many of these every week. But so with XRP, if you guys like XRP, if you want to invest in it, I 100% support you. But at the end of the day, XRP is not decentralized. XRP is not going to be the US digital dollar. It's just not something that I think is going to happen. I think you can make money. I think that they've got a lot of great partnerships. I think that they're amazing at marketing. I think they've got an outstanding community. I do have a moon bag of XRP. But at the same time, it's not something that's one of my top 10 projects. I support you to be able to invest in it. I'm just not interested in really like going like balls deep on XRP.
So I'm going balls deep. That's funny. So I mean, what do you think about the US digital dollar? Like, is this going to be a good thing? Is this going to be a distraction so that when we're looking left, everything can go right? Does this introduce boomers, if you will, because everybody likes to use that term, to essentially, does it actually usher them into the crypto space? Does it actually fool them? Fool them into thinking they're in crypto, but they're not really in crypto? You know, give it to me. Let me hear this.
So I have a whole series about the US digital dollar on my YouTube channel that I did a lot of research on. I prepped a lot for it in early 2020. Okay. I had an expert come on my show. His name is Jason Brett. He runs a focus group. He also does. He also works with U.S. lawmakers. I forget the lady's name because I just forget it. But he's came on my show multiple times. I had Catherine Cooley on, an outstanding woman. from Binance US. But basically, the US digital dollar will be integrated because it is the future. It is what's happening. We see China integrating a US digital dollar, and that, or excuse me, a US digital
yuan.
Yeah, yuan. So excuse me, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So that's fantastic. That's fine. I'm happy for them. But this is going to be the wave of the future because people don't want to deal with fiat currency. And what the media is not telling you, it is easier to do crime in fiat currency because you cannot track it. You can track cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
And the simple explanation I'm going to use, go to Binance Smart Chain, go to their Explorer, go to Etherscan. You can see every single transaction that is done. It is transparent. You can do this with Bitcoin too. The US digital dollar will be 100% transparent. The reason why it's not taking off in the US next is because the United States government needs to figure out how to cover their tracks because they do a lot of shady stuff in the background. I'm not here to shame anybody. I'm just saying it is what it is. They cannot have the US people utilize a US digital dollar and then they have to use it and they have to account, where did this $10 million go? Where did this $1 billion go? Where did this go? Where did that go? Where is it going? They have to account for their own money. And this is not just one political party. This is all political parties. So the reason why the reason why China is doing better than us is because the United States government needs to figure out how they're going to get us integrated. And they also have to figure out how they're going to train the United States population on to use it, because cryptocurrency is not intuitive. It is not easy to use. I told Jason, I said, listen, instead of having people figure out how to use this stuff at a post office, because they were proposing that people learn how to set up wallets at a post office. A freaking post office. There's one post office in each city. In each city. But I told him, I was like, dude, I worked in healthcare. I worked in pharmacy. Why don't they do this at pharmacies? There's like 10 pharmacies per every post office.
All over the place.
And pharmacy staff, healthcare staff is trained in HIPAA. They're trained in privacy protection. Pay them, cut a government grant, set it up there, and allow them to teach people how to do this, because they're going to keep people's information private. Post office can't do that. They have to complete HIPAA. If you want to work in any healthcare industry, you have to complete HIPAA. That's what I think should happen. It's probably not going to happen. They're probably going to make it a complete and total cluster F. But and again, this is not towards one party or the other party or to the middle. Yeah. This is just a basic human right. People should be able to have access to education and all different things. And the United States government is going to completely screw the digital dollar up. It is going to happen, and it's just frustrating to me.
So let me ask you this. Let's put our tinfoil hats on for just a second, okay? What do you think about the idea that cryptocurrency ultimately got introduced? Right now, well, obviously, tinfoil hat here. What do you think about the idea that cryptocurrency actually got introduced by the government in some type of way, whether it was Bitcoin, whether it was, whatever it was? Bitcoin's usually what you'll hear. But what do you think about the idea that they introduce it, they then make it look like the bad guy so that they can detach themselves from it, because they can say, hey, look, we've been telling you not to do this forever, and really we're just a bunch of freaking guinea pigs running the test circuit, because ultimately, let's be real, Alexa in your house, freaking Facebook, you have a cell phone, all of these things, whether people realize it or not, are absolutely tracking what you and I are having a conversation. If I say blockchain right now, I promise you I'm getting a Blockfolio or a BlockFi advertisement on freaking Facebook the next time I sign on there, right? So my thought is how. What's that?
I said shout out to my partners over Blockfolio. I was joking.
Oh yeah. So I guess my kind of thought process is, this is a public ledger, right? It does give transparency. So I guess I can see the government loving that. But on the other hand, is cash going to stay? Ultimately, my question is cash going to stay around? And if so, do you have an idea how long you think it will? And then here's the second question that I really have. How are they going to create value? Because Bitcoin has value for a number of different reasons, but one is scarcity, right? And an actual cap. How are we going to create value with something like right now? We just freaking print it like it just can never stop, and there's no problem with that. We'll just figure it out later. No, that's not how it is going to. We are going to figure it out later, and it's going to be a hard lesson to learn. what do you think that they're going to be able to do? Are they going to attach it to another asset? Are they going to use it like a stable coin? Like, you can't have the volatility. So, I mean, I know that's like 10 questions wrapped into one, but.
Okay. So first and foremost, Satoshi is, I know somebody that was a very early miner that knew Satoshi, is a very dear and good friend of mine. Very, very, very good friend of mine. So there's that. Satoshi did not have anything to do with the United States government. So there's that. As far as
Okay.
the state, as far as Bitcoin, and so that's with Bitcoin. They're not going to adopt Bitcoin. There is a research group called NIST, and they do a lot of government research. They're currently analyzing NIST and the impacts of using Bitcoin as a U.S. digital dollar, which that's not going to happen 100%.
Right.
The U.S. digital dollar will be a stable coin, 100% a stable coin. And the reason why it will be a stable coin is because they cannot have Bitcoin as a U.S. digital dollar. It makes no sense. I love Bitcoin. It is a good store of value, but at the same, Andrew Crony is not Satoshi. It is Hal Finney. Everybody knows that. But at the end of the day, they need to have something that's stable. They need to have something that they can control, because they can't control Bitcoin. And that's okay. And that's why us as individuals, as being self-sovereign, independent, intelligent people, beautiful people, that's why we use Bitcoin as a hedge against the US dollar. They will come with their own currency. It is essentially going to be backed 1-to-1 by a US dollar. And it's going to be what it is. And that's literally the end of the story over there when it comes to that. But they need to have something where they can continue to print money out. They're not going to have a finite asset like Bitcoin. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for the agenda that they have. They want to be able to track everyone. They want to be able to control everyone. And yes, there is going to be a one world currency, but it's not going to be Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to be essentially a hedge against that. I know some of you guys don't want to, like, if you disagree with me, that's totally fine. Like, we don't have to agree. And I'm always welcome to hearing different informations. Shout out to Drazis. US dollar gets unpegged once oil runs out. Drazis knows. He knows.
Yeah, there's so much there. I feel like that we could talk about that for freaking 4 hours and just really dive deep into it. But I think that it's really interesting. It is, how far out do you think we are from the actual US digital dollar coming out?
Probably the next 10 years.
Okay, but you still think you're not thinking in the next year or two. You're thinking it's going to be farther out than that.
Have you guys seen the stifling innovation of the United States government compared to all other countries? It is absolutely embarrassing. It is an abomination. China is absolutely kicking our behinds. The United States government does not know what to do. We are a complete and utter hot mess. Look at our politicians. Look at the way that they're talking. It is an embarrassment. If you look at the government of El Salvador, and I'm not here to say that El Salvador is like this great place to be, because they have their problems, but at least their person that is running, the president, at least the president over there that is running their stuff, he said, okay, we're going to allow Bitcoin to be legal tender. And they're like, oh no, Bitcoin is bad for the environment. Oh my God, guess what happened? He allowed to have geothermal energy from volcanoes mine Bitcoin. Yeah. Literally, and Drazis is correct. Took them half a century to get a V2 update on the country. 100% correct. The United States is so far behind tech-wise. It is an absolute embarrassment. And this is not, again, you guys, this is not dedicated to one party or the other, because they're all equally ridiculous. This is just facts here. Like, how can they, like, it's just hard for me to fathom, like, how all of this is supposed to pan out when they can't even get their own, when they can't even, like, articulate things correctly. I'm not the best person articulating, but at the same time, I'm like, I can at least form an idea in my head better than they can. So that's just it.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be really interesting. I think it'll be interesting to see how when I talk about cryptocurrency to my mom and dad, for example, it seems to be a very, very foreign idea, and I take for granted the fact that I've been in this for a little while and I study it like it's freaking, the Bible, and I just absolutely dove head over heels into it, and I think I take that for granted. But I am very curious to figure out, like, how do we allow people to, I've started to try to take deposits on some of my construction projects in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and to try to introduce people to it. I have been introducing the idea. I've yet to have somebody do it because they're all like, look at me like I'm freaking crazy. But I'm like, hey, look, Venmo actually, now I know it's a derivative. I know that I'm not owning, but I'm trying to introduce people to it and say, hey, like this is available. This is an idea. And when people see me wear like a HODL shirt, you wouldn't believe, like, you probably would, but like how many people are like, what's that stand for? And, you know, there's just so many different, I just think so many people are in the dark right now. And I try to encourage people that are in it and say, listen, I don't care what the prices are. You are still freaking early. We have an opportunity to absolutely blast off to create generational wealth. And if this is played correctly, you are on the front end. Do you believe that we are still very much on the front end?
100%. I believe that we are still very, very early. One of the biggest things that I do is like, I will give people Bitcoin. Like when I go to the boxing gym, I tell the kids, I'm like, get this wallet, get like a Celsius wallet, get a Blockfolio, get Monarch, get whatever it is. Give me your Bitcoin address and I'll send them Bitcoin because they can see it grow. They can see it go up. I think a big part is going to be education, and that's going to transpire through a lot of us influencers, which I hate that word. But at the same time, like, it doesn't matter if Venmo is a derivative. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter. The way to go about speaking to people, you talk to them about things that make sense to them. If you come off as a pompous butthead and you tell them like, oh, I know this and I know this and that, blah, 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 it's not welcoming. And I used to do the same thing in healthcare. I used to figure out what my clients, what they liked, what they were passionate about, what they loved. And then I would go ahead and I would explain something to them that related to what their passions were, that related to what made them happy. So it doesn't matter if it's Venmo. You have to do what you have to do to basically explain the importance of Bitcoin or explain the importance of cryptocurrency and blockchain to these people. And it doesn't matter how you're explaining it. You explain to them how it resonates with you, and our job, and it's not even a job as an influencer, because I hate the term influencer. Your job as a human being is to help other human beings experience a better quality of life. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. I couldn't agree with you more. It says, somebody said there are the same amount of users in crypto as there were the internet users in 1997. That's a fact. That's what somebody said. I don't know what those stats are, but that doesn't sound like it's probably too far off, really.
So me personally, it's great to kind of look back at history and what happened, but the internet is a completely different industry than cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. The internet was a tool to give people access to education, to give people an access to communicate with other people. But Bitcoin,
don't you think this is a tool to introduce people into a different type of finance? I mean,
it's different. It's different though. We're talking about education. We're talking about communication. We're talking about a completely. This is just my opinion. It's a completely different industry than the internet. The internet allows people that own this, which a lot of people globally can own a cell phone, and they can see the web and they can educate themselves. And human beings are so ridiculous. We have Google at our fingertips, but we can sit on the internet and trash talk other people instead of actually educating ourselves. So there's that. So we have the internet that's for education, and we have Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for monetary policies. That's just my personal opinion. So they're two different things. Yes, they both are tech. Yes, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is code, but at the same time, completely different things. So we can look at those standards when it comes to the internet, but at the same time, we should maybe look at this as something a little bit different, at least in my opinion.
So the chat wants to know how I'm going to be able to get sponsored by a beard conditioning company.
So what's going to happen, and you guys too, one of the things I do, like I own a cryptocurrency marketing and consultancy. I do influencer marketing for clients. I advise them on how to grow their brands. I advise them on how to grow their Twitter, their TikToks, their YouTubes, whatever it is they're doing. So what we're going to do, we're going to get you a real nice cover letter, and we're going to start emailing it out.
Well, we're definitely going to talk about that. I've got somebody ultimately making a logo for me right now, so we'll talk about that off of here. I don't want to, give out too much, but we're definitely going to have a chat about that for sure.
Of course.
I was just trying to see if there's anything else good on here for you. And then, guys, listen, get that trash out of here.
Yeah, there's a lot of shilling of a particular coin in the chat, and when you guys do that, I generally deem that coin as a scam, and I won't talk about it on my socials. So please don't do that. It's not fun. Yeah. Someone said, Wendy, do you spar in the boxing gym or cardio only? I only do cardio. I do not ever want to have to put hands on somebody ever again or have somebody put hands on me. But I do it for mental health purposes. I'm going to be making some premium content with my boxing because it's my get down. I've been boxing since I was 16 years old. And yeah, it was a great thing.
Somebody wants to know how they can get their daughter to watch Gunsmoke.
Let me tell you guys something about my 4-year-old daughter. My 4-year-old daughter is an old soul. When I was still working in healthcare, my coworker Dennis, who is also an actor that worked with Ben Kingsley and a couple other guys, he has an absolutely outstanding story, amazing story. He told me, he said, Wendy, he's like, I know you're pregnant. And I go, and he was a little bit different. He said, Wendy, and he was a very good friend of mine. I loved him so much, Dennis. Rest in peace, Dennis. He passed away. He said, Wendy, I know you're pregnant. And I said, yeah. And he goes, I know what you're having. And I said, really? He goes, you're having a little girl and she's going to be a healer.
Just threw that at you when you hadn't told anybody that you were pregnant. You weren't showing none of that. Yeah.
And so my daughter is very intuitive. She is an old soul. And my daughter is, her dad is a whole different type of person. Like I talk about him on the Love and Marriage podcast. I try not to talk about him on my other socials because people are weird. But her dad is very interesting. An interesting man. You'd look at him and you would not anticipate the type of stuff he likes. But my daughter, she grew up in outlaw country for him. Because he's very into that type of stuff. And yeah, my daughter loves Gunsmoke. And also shout out to Jesus. We're going to be hosting, and I have to plug my meetup. You guys, if you're in Los Angeles County, if you're in LA County, I'm hosting a free crypto meetup. This is going to be Saturday at 6 p.m. PST at Angel City Brewery. No, it's at 5 p.m. PST at Angel City Brewery. I think Jesus is coming, and I'm going to have the Altcoin Daily boys are coming. These meetups are free. They're going to be absolutely amazing. Come network, talk with people. It's going to be fun. So I just had to plug that.
So I've never been to a meetup. So obviously, you know, when I got into the space, you know, I was into BitBoy crypto. I mentioned to you the other day, I said, listen, I'm trying to get on around the blockchain, right? I always watch you on there. I just love that show, whatever. What are the meetups like? I mean, are they ultimately just get together, people are having a few drinks, just eating some food, hanging out, talking crypto, or like what are the meetups all like? What are you guys doing? Just hanging out? I mean, exactly that.
So I can't speak on other people's meetups, but my meetups, what we do is we drink beer, we drink water or coffee or soda, delicious Mexican Coca-Cola, because Mexican Coke is the absolute best. We eat delicious food, so you don't have to drink to go. But it's basically everybody comes, they hang out, we meet up, we talk, and it's just for networking. And the reason why I started doing these is because I didn't have them back in 2018, and I just wanted to resonate and meet with other crypto people. That's all I wanted to do.
You know what? Part of the reason that I started doing this a month ago or whatever was specifically the fact that with the exception of a few of my friends, I think I lost you. Did I lose you? Uh-oh. I think we might have lost Wendy. It's not looking good for the home team over here. Did you guys lose her? Wah, wah. Hammer time. You're ridiculous, dude. That's really funny. Well, we'll see if she jumps back in, but yeah, looks like she is gone. Hold on a second. I think she just messaged me. Hold on. Let me see here. Just a second, guys. Her phone just died. No worries. Hold on a second, guys. Yeah, her phone died. Okay. I'm doubting that she's going to jump back in because she said she's plugging it back in and trying to figure out what's going on. All right. So, guys, what'd you think? Was it a good interview? Did you guys enjoy it? DYO love Nick, but she's not. Carly. All right. So yeah, guys, if you didn't realize it, her phone died out, and yeah. So, at any event, hopefully you guys like that. I really enjoyed talking to her. I actually have been following her for a while. For those of you that wanted to throw some hate around in the chat, you guys need to get out of here with that. Hold on a second. I haven't seen. Let me see here. I have not seen in the chat tonight. Let me see here. I don't think. Yeah. Kylie, are you on right now? I don't think I've seen Kylie on here tonight. Yeah, Meg, I agree. I think it was a really good interview. I like the fact that she could grab hold of and understand the addiction side of things. That's super important for me. I think so many people they get on here, it's crypto, and the moment I start talking about something else, everybody's like, get the heck out of here. There's people talking bad about the fact that we were talking about life in her chat, my chat, like, guys, like, that's just so ridiculous. Not in our chat. I mean, a few of you said a couple things. Oh, here we go.
Hey.
Oh, she's back.
So my phone died. I do have to go though.
Yeah, you're good. I appreciate your time, for real.
No, I appreciate your time too. It was great. But yeah, you guys make sure to follow at the CryptoKeeper. He is absolutely amazing. He is going to be doing a lot of cool stuff in the space, so make sure you follow him. Pay attention to his story. Pay attention to what he has to say about different things. And if you're struggling with something that you may not know you're struggling with, always make sure to reach out for help. One of the best tips of advice I can give to you is if you need to get to a meeting or you need to get somewhere to help you, AA and NA is always open. And my best advice is to go find the oldest, meanest man or woman in the room, sit next to them and listen. They're going to help you.
No doubt. Wendy, I super appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon. I did shoot you a message. I want to ask you about a couple things, but yeah, only thing I ask now is get me on around the blockchain.
I actually sent them an email with your contact.
You are awesome. Thank you so much, Wendy. I hope you have a great night.
Guys, God bless. And then CryptoKeeper, please tell your family love, light, and respect. And then shout out to the Crystal Lee. Shout out to Trade, Invest, Simplify. He is absolute GOAT when it comes to
I love Ken. I interviewed Ken the other night. He's great. I love him.
He's an absolute legend, probably the nicest person I've ever met. His heart is probably the purest ever. And I can't wait to meet him one day. And I can't wait to meet my future daughter-in-law, the Crystal Lee. Shout out to Crypto on a Budget. And then also, too, shout out to Thinker, to Dreezus. We love Dreezus. And you guys, my meetup, it is on my website. I love you. I got to go because I got a kid. I got to take care of her. Love
Do
you
your
guys.
thing. I'll tell you what I tell everybody else. Love
Shout
you.
out to Raider. Bye.
All right, guys. That is the CryptoWendyO. Let's see here. Oh, that's work. So, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really liked her. We get a tough side of her elsewhere, but now yeah. So I agree with you. I agree with you, Meg. Yeah, Ken. She her phone died. So, yep. Where is Kylie, guys? How did we go through this? And I don't think Kylie's been on here like at all. At least I haven't seen her comment anything. And I'm always chatting with Kylie, and I just haven't seen her on here the whole night. If she missed that interview, well, that stinks. At any event, guys, I super freaking appreciate every single one of you. I am not going to stay on late tonight. I am going to go to bed in about 5 minutes. If you guys want to hit me with a couple questions before I go to bed, I will answer whatever comes up in the next 5 minutes. I'm just going to stay on until like 11:30. I want to try to get some sleep tonight. I've had this baby. We had a long night last night. But what I started to say before Wendy came back on was that I think the moment that I stopped talking about crypto sometimes, people literally, all of a sudden it's like people are like, oh, okay, peace out. Like, guys, listen, there is more to life than just crypto, right? And I freaking love crypto. Like, I can't stress how invested I am in this space, right? There is no doubt about it, right? And so I guess I just want to encourage you guys that, like, even though crypto, stocks, whatever your Airbnb, whatever your thing is there's more to you than that. And so when you hear somebody, talking about something they're passionate about, when you hear me talking about recovery, there's probably a reason. I probably have been through some stuff, right? Not probably, I have. When you hear her talk about being, a survivor, she's been through something, right? And so one of the greatest things that I've ever heard was like, to really get to know heaven, you've got to go through hell. And I just think it's it just really puts a light on the fact that, listen, we all go through things, right? But the things that we go through really allow us to have appreciation for the rest of life, right? I have such an appreciation for life. That didn't happen just overnight. It happened after years of just absolutely just beating myself up, running myself through the gutter, doing all of these terrible things. And finally, when I picked myself up, started going to meetings, working with a sponsor, working steps, and being a faith-filled man of God that I am, all of a sudden, guess what? All the other things started to fall in place, including crypto. And I think crypto is such a freaking cool outlet. It can be tough. It can be ruthless. The markets don't care about you, right? But at the same time, it is such a freaking opportunity to be able to advance. It's such an opportunity for you to be able to expand and network, right? It's such an opportunity for you to be able to say, hey, I can't wait to be able to, with my daughter, right? Or if I have other kids or whatever, I can't wait until they have the discussion with their friends that, like, oh, what, how did your dad become so successful? And she's going to say, oh, because he bought lots of Bitcoin and Ethereum. He was one of those guys. And that'll be like a normal thing, guys. That'll be a thing. Like the Bitcoiners, the Ethereum, just the cryptocurrency. Oh, he got into crypto, literally. There's people right now, and I know Wendy said she doesn't like to compare the two, but let's compare them. There's people that say, "Oh, well, my family was like on the leading edge of getting into the internet and investing in the revolution that is the internet that we know today." And I think it's going to be the same freaking thing. It's going to be, oh, my dad, my mom, my aunt, my uncle, man, woman, child, whatever. I got into crypto. I believed in something, and I chased after it. Guys, don't freaking, just please stay in line. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but guys, hold the line. There is such a freaking opportunity. And what Wendy and I were talking about, I think, couldn't be more true, right? There's a reason that the government is fighting this. There's a reason that there's all this negative FUD campaign out there. It's not because, oh, it's no big deal. It's because they know it's a freaking big deal. They know that at the end of the day, if we absolutely full on adopt and start using Bitcoin, it is a threat to the United States government. And when they introduce, I have a little bit of different thought. When they introduce this U.S. digital dollar, whenever they do it, I don't know when they're going to do it or how they're going to do it or if they're even going to have it backed actually by anything, even a scarcity aspect. I don't know. But what I do know is that, guys, pay attention. When that does happen, it's a freaking like a magician. You're looking over here and there's stuff happening over here. So just, I implore you, be careful. Pay attention. It has to get introduced somehow, some way. And I think now, in one way or the other, it is being introduced, right? And so now that it's being introduced, let's be smart about how we're introducing ourselves into the market, right? And let's look at it and say, okay, we have a long-term outlook, right? Whether, even if you're day trading like Ken does, right? Ken has a long-term outlook, right? And it's not that he doesn't, you know what I mean? He's trying to provide for the rest of his life, right? Just like I am, right? Just in a different form. I have a different style, whatever. But guys, I just want to encourage you. Pay attention. There is a reason that they're fighting this so hard. And there's just no other way to put it, you know? Ostock said he missed the .com era and just watched it go by, you know? Ken, I couldn't agree with Wendy more, man. I literally loved talking to you when we got on here. We're going to have to do another live stream soon, man, for sure. I very much enjoyed talking to you, just like I enjoyed talking to Wendy. But guys, just be smart. Understand that these institutions, these big players, these whales, when we say swim with the whales, there's a reason we say that. They are not doing what they're doing and investing. If you pay close attention to who bought this dip, it was the big wallets, right? And it's a shakeup, right? What's everything at right now? Hold on a second. I'm about to look real quick. Did we have any sort of a nice little run up while Wendy and I were on? No, not really. But guys, it's an opportunity of a lifetime, and yeah. I just can't explain enough or get excited enough for you to make these good decisions moving forward. So, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. If nobody's told you this today, I'm going to tell you now. I freaking love you. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys know I do nothing but spread love, and I have nothing but love for you guys. So if you're not following me, shoot me a follow. Guys, you can click on my name. You can put the little bell notification on. I talk about crypto. I talk about recovery from drugs and alcohol, and I talk about God, right? Those three things are what my life is about, combined with obviously my family. I won't get too deep into my family because, that's my personal life. But guys, I will never freaking message you. I will never ask you to message me on WhatsApp, okay? I had 2 messages today from people that said they were going to message me back, but wanted to confirm that it was indeed me. Guys, I don't have WhatsApp. I'm not going to ask you to contact me on WhatsApp. There's a whole bunch of fake accounts going on of me right now. I've shut down like 10 of them. I've reported like 10 of them so far. And guys, people like Crypto Weatherman, people like Trade Invest Simplify, people like CryptoWendyO, pay attention to the names. You guys know my name, _CryptoKeeper. CryptoKeeper spelled correctly. They're doing things like taking one E out of CryptoKeeper. When you glance at it, it looks like the same name, right? Or they put a period before the T in the, or they put a period after CryptoKeeper. Like, it's small changes, guys. But the reality is, it is not freaking me, okay? Click in if you ever see that. Either just ignore it. But if you're really questioning it, you can look and see. You know what I mean? I don't even know how many followers I have right now, but I sure as heck don't have 0. And these freaking fake accounts are just, they're just ridiculous. But guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. I love each and every one of you. I am going to go to bed. I freaking love you guys. Have a wonderful night. Hey, hold on. Before I go, before the weekend's over, we're going to talk to Kylie about Airbnb. So we're definitely going to talk about that. And then Saturday morning, 8 a.m. for sure. I'm still waiting for Blockchain Boy to give me an exact time, and I'm waiting for Crypto Mason to give me a time. But those will be coming as well. And then Pablo, Crypto Weatherman, said he reached out to him, waiting to hear from him. Crypto classes, we've got a number of people. And actually, Options Trading Daily, Connor, I freaking love him. He's awesome. I've been following him for a while. Guys, that'll be more of a stocks type of conversation like it was with Ken. Super excited to get to know him. Guys, I love getting to know you. I love getting to know the people that are influencers, which again, I don't like that name. But Saturday morning, all that, because, squirrel, all that just to say, Saturday morning, Crypto Insight UK, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know, Saturday morning, whatever. Guys, just, don't get all hammered Friday night. Wake up, talk some crypto with myself and him. It's going to be freaking awesome. And yeah, that's it, guys. I love you guys. Have a great night. I'll see you soon.